Alright, I think we're all set. There we go. Howdy, Xavier. Good to see you. For a man that hates Dark Souls 2, you sure do seem to stream it a lot. I've been wanting to get back to the HSR event though recently, but I've been on a roll with the updates and stuff, so it's just like, yeah. Plus I had Black Friday sales today. That took up a lot of my time, so I was like, do I want to spend the extra hours on that, really? Not today, unfortunately. We'll just do a little bit more work instead. I'm a very weird person. I'm a person where I like to either I have to set up an entire lot of time for me to do like actual like free like do what I want to type thing, or I'd rather just work. I'm not sure if that's healthy. Is it just me, or am I seeing a weird black cloud on her hands? Am I crazy? What the hell's up with that? I'm gonna have to ask Nobre about that. I don't know what the hell's that's... Like, why would that even be a thing? Seems to have dark magic hands. Hey, it's like a black fog. Dark... It reminds me of the thing that's happening with Seldora, except they do the curse effect, right? So you get her face. Yeah, she doesn't look up. I think you know this because I remember this being talked about vaguely. Well, if I knew this, I don't remember it. That or someone's mentioned on stream. Yeah, my memory. I don't trust my memory then. Okay, can I? There we go. Alright, this one looks more. Yeah, I can live with this. If we ever need a shot for good old Melinda Nizer. Stream got murdered yesterday. How are you today? I'm doing fine, Tyrone, but you missed it. I had a 3-hour stream right after that one. You never came back. 1 second, chat. I gotta lower the BGM. There we go. I had volume up too high. But it's great to see you, Tyrone. I was actually talking about on that other show. I was like, man, we were just getting the ball rolling, and then you didn't come back. Anyway, I hope you're doing okay. Sorry, reload your channel, nothing came up. That's weird. It should be right there. I even left a community post, so that way you guys could get the link. Next time some stuff like that happens, be sure to come back and check in like 10 minutes or something, right? Like go off, get yourself a glass of water or whatever, and then you can come back. Because it might just be that you checked like right before I went live again. Because I have to restart my PC and then, get the new name and set everything up. Speaking of which, I gotta make that stream public, so I gotta remember to do that. For some reason, the streams themselves, when I'm live streaming, go public, but then they don't post public. I don't know if that's a setting thing or what have you. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it does make it a little bit of a pain if I forget to manually, post them, right? Ah! There we go. Do you see the problem that I see, chat? Are you seeing the problem that I see? At this point, I'm just impressed. Like, how do I do it? Like, how do I do it? That wall's not even properly connected. That one's also missing over there. Like, you playing DS2? Yep, I'm doing that as well. I guess that's all you really gotta say, huh? Yeah, you don't even have the boulders and stuff blocking that over there. That's always funny. Is Forest of Fallen Giants the best area in DS2? If not, what is your opinion? Ooh, is this the best area? If we're talking about purely area design, I would say yes, because it has the most variety. There's a lot of branching paths. Like, it's the least DS2 of the DS2 areas, if that makes sense. Though it still has the DS2 enemy spam problem, and ambushing, of course, as well. But at the very least, it's got a lot more variety to it. In terms of what you see, where you go, right? It's not as linear as some of the other areas are. Though it's still fairly linear. I want to get down here. What are we missing potentially? Just the Pursuer. I don't think I care enough about him though. Alright, let's go for the big rat. But let me think. Can I think of another area I like more? I like the vibes of Gutter and Black Gulch. Like, those are one of the few areas where I'd say, hey, it doesn't look ugly. And that's because half of it's shrouded in black. Large soul of a nameless soldier, say it ain't so. Roy the Explorer. Am I okay to dying to you? Oh no, wait, if he dies, he disappears, I'm pretty sure. Wait. Oh. Oh. Damn. Did I get the good shot, though? That's the question. Did I get the shot when he was just standing for a second? I did. I can live with that, chat. I can live with this shot. I really like Forest of Fallen Giants, and Pursuer is a great boss. Is Pursuer a great boss? Yeah, I think it's a pretty okay boss for the level you get to it at, you know. I wish the Last Giant was a good boss. It would make it S tier in my area ranking if he was. Yeah, Last Giant is very much the tutorial boss, right? That's definitely the vibe. Oh, there. Oh. Let me just... Ah, damn. I really should dodge roll when I see that. Yeah, I definitely think, like, overall, like, he feels good. Like, he feels like a good challenge while not being, like, you know, bullshit. He has a lot of, he has a good variety in his moveset. He has a good design, fun concept, nice little gimmick, right, with how you face, like, you know, different ones in different areas, right? So it becomes, like, a mini-boss thing relatively quickly, right? Including a secret one you can meet, like, at the beginning of the game, right? So I think I think they do good with him. Like, I struggle to think of, like, a really huge negative with the Pursuer. And I can't say that about a lot of DS2 bosses. That's the best weapon movesets in my opinion. That would be, like, outside of, like, that'd be outside of my, my wheelhouse. I guess I should just kill rats until the big rat shows up, huh? So I should probably do this. Oh, oh, it's not right. The boss is the actual rat, so. Okay. Thankfully, the corpses disappear, so that's not going to be a concern. Oh my god, come on. Stupid camera. Oh. Ah, no. I can't get the lock on to cooperate now. There we go. Get some distance. Oh, we both whiffed. Oh my god, the lock on. Lock on to the thing that's right in front of me. Oh my god. That's the real challenge with this boss fight. It's not the rats. It's the camera. Oh no. Yeah, we're gonna die here. I like that the sword neutral position actually a natural and realistic resting opposed to the other games. Yeah, a lot of the Western style sword fighting especially is a little bit leans on the fantasy end of things for sure. I think my biggest DS2 hot take is that it feels more like a sequel to Demon Souls than Dark Souls 1. In some ways, I think you're right. There's definitely some elements, but I think the problem is there's so much Demon Souls in the DNA of all the Dark Souls games. I guess you could argue 3 probably the least, but even then the references are very, very thick, right? But I'm sure if I thought more on the gameplay side of things, I could definitely see that. It definitely has a similar thing with Demon Souls where there's a bit more emphasis on build variety, except unlike Demon Souls, it actually enables build variety a lot more, right? You actually have a lot of options to, like, you know, try out a bunch of different builds during a single playthrough. It's not as readily available in Demon Souls, that's for sure. Oh. Wow, I can't believe you missed. But then you hit me there, so who am I to complain? Oh. Wow! Camera cooperated there. Oh. Eventually we'll get to Mohawk. Thankfully, I have the Evil Eye Ring to help give me some HP back, so. Oh. Oh. There we go. Oh. Ah, damn. I think DS2 is able to make multiple builds work much better than even games built around it like ER. Well, I don't usually go for multiple builds, so I can't attest to that with the comparison there. Like, again, this is a bit outside of my wheelhouse in terms of what I really focus on. Like, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Chaz, I don't think even Tara knew that it worked so well when making the game, LOL. I I don't know. I want to give the devs credit that at the very least they were trying to do the things that they were doing. It's just a lot of it was just execution. Either it wasn't done well, or obviously I think it robs a lot from, I think too what you're saying about the Demon Souls sequel. It definitely is something where it just doesn't feel like a proper Dark Souls sequel, and I think a lot of the conversation about the game would be very different if you didn't have Dark Souls prefaced on here, right? If this was like, I don't know, you know, like Kingsfield, which is obviously never as popular as like as the Souls games became, or just its own IP, I think you would definitely have a lot less vitriol on both sides. Yeah, there we go. Hey, buddy. Oh my, really? When I'm in the middle of slashing you? Okay. Come on. Damn, that's the problem. I feel like demons, I like the feel of Demon Souls the most. Feels like you are just a guy using his intelligence skill and cunning to fell things you have no business fighting more than the other games, in my opinion. Ooh, that's an interesting angle to look at it. Does it feel like you are really the underdog in that game versus the others? I think the atmosphere definitely contributes a lot to that. I think there's definitely an atmosphere question. Right, and Demon Souls definitely has that atmosphere down pat from what I've seen of the original's gameplay. Obviously, I only have experience with the remake. The remake definitely skews things a bit more towards Hollywood action movie, for better and worse. Mostly for worse. Good. Oh my god. Oh my, where did you come from, buddy? Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. I just need to accept I'm not going to be able to kill these guys quickly enough. I should, because it's making me have to trade hits a lot more than I want. Oh my god, really? Unfortunately, you can trade hits with the rats anyway. Oh yeah, for sure. Tanimura, it's very clear reading the interviews that that he was definitely in a very, very awkward spot. Yeah, believe me, I know the history with the development for the game. I will say, I am feeling very chill considering the fact that we are trying to hunt for Mohawk Rat today. Hey, buddy. Oh my god. I'll be honest, the chip damage you take from random shit is just such a... Really? Must have hit him at the tip. Also, cool of you to hear that you work in JP Animation. I'm sure that's a experience. Oh. Ooh. Oh wow, I'm surprised that rat over in the corner there didn't. Ah, now he's coming. Ooh. Eventually Mohawk Rat's gonna come out, and then we can die to him, and we can... And we can just kind of end things there. I'm hoping that the Mohawk Rat's not going to be causing problems for us. Alright. Oh my god, really? Okay. Hey, well, pardon me. I still remember the design works with Tiny Mora explaining the mountain thing, and the collective Japanese fan base on 5chan collectively left. See, I was a part of the DS2 community at the time, right? Because I just, again, I stopped, you know, after my 20 hours with the original, that was when I was just like, okay, I'm done. Before I commit suicide, I'm gonna stop right here. Like, this is too painful, right? So I never even really got into the community. In fact, this is actually a really funny thing. My first experience with Vati, I think, was DS2, because I vaguely recall when I was trying to get into, before I got into DS3, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go watch something, and I just kinda, I was kind of just scrolling through the English side of YouTube, and I just saw the DS2 lore vids or whatever at the time, so I put those up just to kind of catch me up to speed on what the plot was, in case it was relevant for 3, right? And it's so funny to me now in retrospect, because if I'm right, and that was what because I'm pretty sure it was Vati, right? It's so funny to me that that was my first experience with Vati was because of DS2. Hey Matthew, howdy. Like, I'll talk. Sorry, I'm kind of in the middle of. Oh, never mind, I'm dead. Okay, now I can read. Anyway, new viewer here, and I had a question. Between Abyssal Archive and Demonic Archive, do you feel that your writing changed in any substantial way, or do you reference either book to the other? Demonic, the basis for Demonic Archive is my content on my website, and that was being written about the same time as Abyssal Archive was coming together. Do I feel my stuff has changed? I want to say yes, but it's hard to gauge for me, because especially at that time, I was working on Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, and a bit of Dark Souls 2, and then I started on Demon Souls in the later stages of working on Abyssal Archive, because I wanted to make sure I could factor in Demon Souls lore, so I had to understand what Demon Souls lore was and, like, follow it and all that. And then I started working on it, because I was like, oh my god, there's problems with Demon Souls lore, too. What a shocker. Which was very different from what I was hearing from the actual, you know, Demon Souls fans, right? Because I was just taking for granted what they're saying. I was like, oh no, there's localization problems here too. I should have known. Anyway, but the point was that, so it all kind of melts together, and I couldn't tell you, despite how many times I've written my work, if there's like a substantial difference between them. I'm sure you can find some things like, you know, every writer has like, you know, their penchant for the month, where, you know, sometimes maybe they prefer one word or one phrase over another for that one, right? And I try to, like, you know, spread my stuff out or whatever, but like just today I was going over my Haida article, and I was like, god, I'm using the word aside a lot, like aside from this, aside that, you know, aside from that. I was like, wow, I don't really usually use that word from what I remember, right? So if you look into it, I'm sure there is major stuff, but in terms of like the overall methodology and content, no, it's pretty much stayed the same. I made sure I had my methodology solid before I actually, you know, was gonna, you know, I had to work all that stuff out before I actually started writing all these things. And then I started, like, you know, kind of like crystallizing it when I started writing out what my methodology was, because, you know, it's something where for me it sounds like, you know, it's common sense, right? Like, that's how you have to analyze and look at things or whatever, right? But I felt it was only fair that I do so, because I was definitely talking with a lot of people who clearly weren't on the same page with me on that, right? So I want to say yes, but it's very hard without me having, like, you know, doing the comparison of the text right in front of me. But anyway, cool to have a new viewer here. A little Devati, no, he was in the presence of Souls royalty. I wouldn't say that, Tyrone, but thank you, very kind. Yeah, I work as an animator in Japan. I read your lore blog for, I think, 4 years. Yeah, it's been about that long. Yeah, actually, I think, yeah, the blog's been about that long now, right? Because because I got into the community only 5 or 6 years ago, and the website came a little later. So yeah, it's been 3 or 4 years now, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it was nice to see someone actually knowing what he was talking about. Well, thank you. I find that humbling. So many YouTubers in YouTube English were completely oblivious to obvious stuff the JP Souls community took as used up. Yeah, that's what I was telling. That's what I was saying when I was first getting in there. I'm like, God, like and again, I've told this story before, but it was literally this all started because I just happened on a whim when Ring City was like, it was like whatever, like the Ring City trailer dropped that day, right? And I was just on a whim. I can't really tell you why, but I decided I wanted to look up what the English community was talking about it, right? And that's when I was seeing the reaction to the trailer on a Reddit, and I was like, oh wow, this is very different. Like, people are like, oh my god, like the demons aren't just monsters, see, this proves or whatever. I'm like, well, yeah, of course they aren't. Did you not play Dark Souls 1, right? It was just one of those things where, like, when I started diving deeper, that's when I realized, oh. Cool insight. I'm picking up both books for the holiday, and I'm gonna use them as a companion to replaying the games. Oh, nice. I've heard a lot of people are doing that. Like, they read the books and then they decide, oh, I'm gonna start up a new playthrough and kind of live the experience now. I think that's a great idea. I think that's really cool. Now, granted, it's not like you can, go. It's not like the books are written like in a way where you can go like area by area of the game and get the lore, like I guess in the narrative order, so to speak, right? But it's definitely something good where I think if you read the stuff or you use it as a cross-reference or whatever, it can enrich the experience, I think, for sure. Wasn't sure on the release timeline between the books I want to know. Yeah. In terms of, like, when they came out, obviously Abyssal Archive came out first before Demon Souls, but the content for all my Soul stuff has basically been, like, one continuous, like, loop, right? I've just been, like, I've been cycling between all the games until I finished Demon Souls. Obviously, I was working on Dark Souls 1 on the down low while working on the website content, right? So, I never really got past the Reddit post that I reposted on the website, right? I never did get that far. But still, I think that in terms of quality, I don't think I would say any of them are lacking for their respective game. The only thing I would complain about for Demonic Archive is that it doesn't have the same commentary from me. Like, it doesn't have a prologue or an epilogue. It literally is just, we're going straight into it. Which I personally did not want, but, stuff happened with the publisher, and it just worked out that way. So, that's, like, a minor gripe for me personally. Like, I would have liked to give you guys some more, like, new content, new stuff, not just an edited manuscript, for my website content. With, the one beautiful illustrations and, the packaging and everything that the publisher did. But, it is what it is. So if I had to give you a recommendation, I would say read Abyssal Archive first, just because there's the methodology page there. In fact, you could probably just read that opening prologue section for the methodology, and you'd be able to apply most of those same principles, to Demon Souls. It would just, be, not everything's there, right? Like, there weren't, chests and mimics in, Demon Souls, so that wouldn't, factor in. But yeah, outside of that, like, again, the actual qualities of the analysis itself, I think, should be pretty much equal. And there's nothing I feel like I'd be like, oh man, I gotta make sure. I wish I included all that I know, like, all that info that I know now or anything. It's like, no, it's pretty comprehensive. It's remained comprehensive. Right. I checked out the sampler to get an idea of the setup of AA. Cool. I'm glad that was available to you. Though granted, the publisher chose some, they chose some good chapters, don't get me wrong, but they chose some, like, late chapters and stuff. So it's definitely something where it's like, I'm already referencing a bunch of things that you should have had several chapters to be able to digest already before we start just offhandedly mentioning it, Alas, on a more positive note for DS2, I'm happy that Tanimura was able to get a bit of a comeback with ER. From what I understood, he was very, very involved with the game. Yeah, I think with Sekiro, like, I think for sure, as someone who is a, let's just call me a critic of DS2, I think that Tanimura has proven himself that whatever his failings with, Dark Souls 2, he's definitely learned from the experience and, matured greatly as both a developer and a guy who's been given, leadership roles. I think even Dark Souls 2's most ardent haters would have to admit that his name being on any of the games going forward isn't going to be a red flag. At least not automatically, right? Well, again, it depends on the game itself and the developers, right? Nothing stays the same, right? Even FromSoft will one day be... One day FromSoft will also decline. Hopefully that will be a long, long ways off, you know? Yeah, I noticed that. Weird choice, but was helpful enough before deciding. Yeah, which is what it's supposed to do, right? I think the publisher chose those because they knew they were really good. They were really good, juicy chapters to hook people in. I mean, the Seath one especially. I could say for absolute certain. I can say for absolute certain that it was the Seath lore that got me my foot in the door when it came to Vati. So. Thank God Vati was still checking his email in the year of our Lord. What was it, like 2020 or whatever? Oh. From software will decline and fade away. Damn, I wonder what games talks about the inevitability of a circle coming to an end. Yeah, all of Miyazaki's, the Miyazaki era, I guess you can say, can pretty much be summed up as all good things must come to an end. And all bad things must come to an end, too! Ooh. Let me get out of here. Come on. Come on. It's very, very important that I get a shot of the Mohawk rat. So everyone understands what I'm talking about when I talk about the Mohawk rat. I mean, what would you guys do if I didn't give you a picture of a rat with a mohawk? How would you possibly be able to keep up with my deep analysis on the Rat Kingdom? There we go. Oh. Can't believe I had the stamina for that one, you know? Oh. 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 And I missed. Okay, sure, game. Oh. Sure, we'll spend one of these. I like how the charge breaks when you go behind the rat statue for too long. He's like, damn, I don't see him. Oh, of course I got hit by that. What is these hitboxes? I swear, these rats have better hitboxes than the frickin' dogs. I wish this game was actually expanded on. It seems interesting. I would have liked at least a token reference in Dark Souls 3's Ring City. You know, it doesn't have to be much. It could just be like a few rats in like a corner, and I don't know, maybe some items or some setup or whatever to kind of allude to the idea that it's not just Ulasil. You also have like a rat delegation, right? A delegation between the Rat Kingdom, and you can make it where the rats uniquely do petrify, like the rats do in this game, right? Like, they do, or I guess curse status, you know, to use Dark Souls 3's mechanics, right? Like, I think that would have been a cool little nod to the lore. I get why they didn't. Ah, there we go. There's the rat. There's my rat. Alright, where's the asshole? Oh. Oh, I see him. There he is. He's at the back. Oh. Damn. He ran away! Ever had plans for books on the other Souls games? Yep, I get asked for like basically every game under the sun, right? And other than Elden Ring, which I will always answer with ask me again in the next decade. I definitely could see myself releasing books for the other games in the quote-unquote near future, like in the next few years. Again, it just depends on me actually finishing the content. Like, I'm working on Dark Souls 2 right now, because I'm very close when it comes to Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 2 basically has all the major topics covered. It's now just, you know, refining and stuff, which is, you know, what I've been doing this past month and a half, or however long it's been. Right? I would need to do the same with others in the future. Oh, oh, I have the brightness all the way up. I don't think it's affecting anything though. Yeah, I think it doesn't look off when I'm doing this, so I think we're. Oh my god. I hate the camera. I hate how it literally aims at everyone's ankles, even the rats. It's like, my goodness, just hit the goddamn cranium, you stupid. An easy way to say it's you'll have an ER book out when there's an ER too. A lot of DS3s are into retcon DS2, so I think Miyazaki just didn't want to bother too much. If anything, I think DS3 DLCs got more citation to DS2 because Tanimura was the one involved with them. I wouldn't say that Miyazaki retconned a lot of DS2, any more than you could say that DS2 retconned DS1. As far as, like, you know, the change of setting. Like, as I've stated before, like, so much of Dark Souls 3's lore relies on both DS1 and DS2, though admittedly, DS2, to a lesser degree, because again, just the nature of the way DS2 was set up makes it easier for it to be, quote-unquote, like, written out. But it's still there, it's still relevant to a lot of the Dark Souls 3's lore. It's just very obvious that Miyazaki, like, let's be honest, if Miyazaki made DS2, he would have probably basically done what DS3 was, with maybe a slightly less convoluted premise for how we got there, right? It would have probably been something as simple as, oh, we're just, you know, Dark Souls 1, but in the future, right? That probably would have been the idea. Because ultimately, a lot of it's the same plot threads, same character beats, you know, all the stuff that Dark Souls 1, you know, set up or established or whatever, or implied, or, you know, like all these things that could have been done for a sequel. But I've long come to accept that Dark Souls 2 has a very important place in Dark Souls 3, and that as regardless of my antipathy for it, it's important that fans properly understand Dark Souls 2 lore so they can properly appreciate Dark Souls 3 in full. ER2 Sony exclusive. ER2 Sony exclusive, $130. Half the game is a movie. Don't forget the Battle Pass. It's very important that you include the Battle Pass. There we go. Oh, fuck. Oh! How the hell did I take that much damage? Like, holy hell, what the fuck happened, DS2? Like, where the hell did all that damage come from? I thought there was an enemy there, damn. Yeah, I know it's based on the number of rats. That's why I'm trying to take it nice and slow, right? I'm trying to enjoy a relaxing stream if I have to play this game, so I'm trying not to rush it. I'm trying just to pick them off in the easiest way possible. Yeah, there's too many of these guys here. Oh, hey, buddy. Oh, my God. That would have been... Oh, my God. That would have been great if I was able to... Oh. Oh. Come on. Oh, my God. Hello? Ah, damn. Lock on, please! Stop locking onto the enemies all the way in the far back there when there's an enemy right in front of me. Oh. Thought I could dodge roll before that guy barged in. Again, doing that greedy thing. Oh. There we go. Loki loves this game, as he said in the previous stream. He definitely knows how the boss works out. Lies, fake news! Who is spreading this slander? I was just worried you were stuck in the DS2 loop. Oh, yeah, don't worry. I'm not trying to wait out the boss. I'm trying to, I'm just trying to take it slow. Oh. Though the game's mechanics are not making that easy. I feel like I should have killed enough of them by now, but... Woo! I guess not, you know? Clearly I should just gotten a big-ass greatsword. Kill, like, a bunch of them in one swipe. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh! Alright. Oh! Hey, buddy. Oh my god. Oh, this game's lock on! Why? There we go. Well, Hawk Boy's finally out and about. Oh! Oh! Come on. Oh! Come on, let me spin the camera. Let me spin the camera. Come on. Oh, we're gonna be here for a while, chat. Alright, let's see what we got. Did I get anything good? Lol. Ah! Motion blur. No. That would have been so good if I had the camera turned already, but I could not turn the camera fast enough. Curses. Oh. Anyway, if you want my second hot take for the day, I do think DS3 involving DS2 has made for more interesting product. I agree. I really, really like the whole stuff with the Thrones. I think it's just better because if it's going to be a sequel that's supposed to bring everything, you know, I think one of the goals of Dark Souls 3 was to help reconcile Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2's very drastically different settings and bring them together into a holistic whole. And I think it accomplished that amazingly. Again, I think one of the biggest... I think one of the biggest problems with Dark Souls 3 is because it requires Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 to fully understand it. It means that a lot, and same thing with Dark Souls 2, but again, you just need to understand Dark Souls 1. But nobody understands any of these games, right? So it just makes it so that way, by the time you get to Dark Souls 3, nobody's actually following and understanding the full implications of so much. They're only able to get, like, really small bits and pieces, and I hate that, because, like, what Miyazaki does with Dark Souls 3 truly is, like, it's masterful in many ways. Like, the more I work on the franchise as a whole, it truly impresses me what From Software was able to accomplish. Well, no matter what I think about DS2, Majula is still my favorite hub of the game. Yeah, I think it's pretty okay. I said it yesterday. I think it was the first and last time I ever said, wow, this game is beautiful. It's got a pretty good OST. I definitely think it's probably iconic, right? Like, I think that's fair to say. You know, I might as well not lock on until the last second, because the lock on will always screw me over unless I'm waiting for this enemy to charge at me, like, directly. Come on, buddy. Yeah, see, like that. Oh. Stupid statues! Oh, too close to the statue here. I'd also be like, I'd love to have a human effigy, but then I'd be like, no, I don't, because then when I inevitably die to the rat guy and have to go through all this again, I'm gonna hate it. Thank God the tails don't have hitboxes, chat. Imagine if they did. Loki via Stockholm Syndrome. I love this game, incredible. God, that's where you know I'm losing it. I bet that's why I've heard some folks say they prefer DS2 story / lore over DS3. Yeah, I'm for sure. Like, again, I still think Dark Souls 1 overall is the best of the bunch, right? For many reasons, and part of it is because, you know, sequels have to rely on their predecessors, right? Well, Dark Souls 1 obviously stands on its own completely. But I will say, I think not enough people will appreciate Dark Souls 3 because of how much they have to, how much, you know, like, background knowledge they have to have, right? And Miyazaki, I will always remember the fucking rusted coins, man. The rusted coins will never leave. Oh, the rusted coins will never leave me. Oh god, I was laughing so hard because I was like, fuck Miyazaki, like, because I knew it too. I knew, like, he's like, I'm like, nobody's gonna understand this except me. But it's so funny. Oh, yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, damn. What? Oh, I've talked about it before on Twitters, but it's the rusted, like, in, outside places like the Profane Capital and, like, one instance in Lothric. Well, actually, no, even the Lothric instance technically ties into this, right? But it was something I started noticing as I was, like, you know, mapping out every item and its location and the lore significance of each one. And I started noticing the rusted coins, which, if you know DS2 lore, the rusted coins have a connection to Velka. And, it happened to be that the coins were always being placed, basically, in and around, statues of Velka, or in one case, the Four Kings intimately connected to Velka. So, it was one of those things where Miyazaki was basically kind of hinting. He was basically kind of like dropping the whole Velka is the angel lore, from the DS2 coins, which was, again, so you can see it on my website. I cover that in the angel post, but, it's just one of those things where it's such a minor, like, you know, like, in the weeds type of lore detail. And Miyazaki's just casually expecting you to kind of pick up on the Velka connection with, like, statues of Keitha, statues of Velka, statues of, again, the relief of the Four Kings, right? Then you get to Ariandel, and they even do it there, right outside the pictures of the statues of Velka at the light. Like, it's so funny. It's so fucking funny. I'm laughing so hard, because I'm like, the man is doing, like, the subtlest shit that he really didn't have to do. And it's so obvious when you know. But it looks so random if you're just an outsider. You're just like, why the fuck is he putting this here? I just find that so funny. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, there's just... Say what you will about these games and the development problems that they go through. For all their narrative or, typological issues that they might have, there's still a lot of effort that gets put into to constructing the world and the lore. By the way, Enrico, I wasn't, I didn't ask earlier, but, what type of, animator do you work, animation do you work in, I should say? Is it 2D or 3D? Just out of curiosity. I know lines can kind of get blurred, especially nowadays and stuff, right? Like, every 2D, technically, at some point, gets involved with the computer. But, you know, I think you know what I mean, like, you know, CGI and all that stuff. I work in 2D. I'm an animator director. Oh, cool. I worked on stuff like Jujutsu Kaisen and One Piece. Oh, nice. Congrats to you. Oh. Ah, there we go. There's our rat boy. All right, let's see if I can get the shot this time, chat. Cool, cool. Unfortunately, because of all my soul stuff, I have a huge anime backlog. So I have an entire spreadsheet of all the series that I have unfinished / unwatched. And I really, really need to start combing through it at some point. Like, I'm sorry to say, chat, but one of these days I'm just gonna tell you I'm gonna go on radio silent for, like, a month or two, just binging anime. But no, I need to add Jujutsu Kaisen to the list for sure. And one of these days, Acer's gonna convince me to finally watch One Piece. One of these days. Where are you? There you are. Alright. Oh. Fun. Ah, fight! It's because he moves. That's the problem. I think what I need to do is I need to get some distance away from him while he's facing me, but get killed by another rat. Miyazaki is the same guy that said that Sekiro was a more grounded story in a Japanese interview and then wrote the most Japanese-reliant esoteric bullshit he could come up with. Yeah, from what I've seen from, you know, Acer's commentary on Sekiro and stuff like that, yeah, it's very much culturally rooted, right? And you could argue that with all the Souls games, they're very much, you know, you can very much tell that they're written by a Japanese guy, right? But, yeah, Sekiro especially, right? Because it's so rooted in Japanese culture and history and, you know, all that jazz. No, yeah, but cool. It's always cool to have an animation director in the stream, right? Like, I try not to, I try not to get too hung up on, like, people. You know, I'm kind of like a guy that just is, like, you know, chilling or whatever. But when people are proud of, like, you know, the stuff they've accomplished and stuff like that, it's really cool to see, especially when it comes from people from, you know, unique backgrounds. Like, how many times do you get to say you meet an animator working in Japan, right? One of these days I'm gonna find out that Xavier is like some tech mogul. He's been just casually watching my streams this entire time. I'm super cool. That you are, Xavier. I should turn this back on. Yo. Yes, yes, yes. Seriously, whoever got shots of this, this rat boy in the past, kudos to them. Even if it's like a freaking, like, you know, low quality, blurry 420p, like, square image or something. Because this sure ain't fun. Oh my god. Now I lost my chance. Hey, come on. Oh my. Yeah, just in time. Oh my, really? You have to use your telescope as he's approaching you, I bet. Ooh, you're right. The problem is getting him to do it without the movement, because the movement causes him to become a... Oh my god, that damage. The movement's what causes him to become blurry. And that's the problem. Is the motion blur in this game. Honestly, I should maybe look into trying to mod it out. That might be the play. Aw, rats. Yeah, aw, rats, Tyrone. Yeah, for sure. Granted, some of my favorite stories are very much rooted in some of that really obscure Japanese folklore and stuff, right? Like, Kemono Jihen is definitely one up there. Noragami, Natsume is another good big one. Like, yeah, just a bunch of those. I definitely think that Japan has a lot of rich folklore to draw upon for their fiction. Oh. Ah! Oh! Eh, there we go. Eventually we'll get one of you by yourselves. Come on. I'm saving a child is all I need to know. Oh, cool. Ah. Hey, buddy. I mean, that's all you need to know for Sekiro, right? I would say I do want to revisit Acer's commentary and stuff to see if there's anything that I can catch that I'm like, that doesn't really make much sense or whatever, right? Because I know I've done a little bit of lore stuff for people, like, early on in Sekiro's history, but I figured there was enough, because it's like it's an out-and-out, quote-unquote Japanese game. I figured that there'd be enough people who would naturally gravitate on the translation side, so I wouldn't be needed anyway. And ultimately, the game didn't grab me to the level that I was kind of hoping it would. Which is kind of weird, because I was semi-excited for it when it was coming out. But then, like, it finally released, and so I was like, you know what? Just not grabbing me. I'm a sucker for those sorts of narratives. Yeah, I feel the same way. I mentioned earlier, but after I read Noragami, that awakened the dad instinct I didn't know I had. Because you have to understand, I've always been a villain type of guy, chat. Like, you know me when you hear me talk about, like, Dark Souls characters and stuff. I always love the villains. But, I think that game in particular, that manga in particular, sort of awakened a desire to protect not just children, but actually appreciate good guys and families and stuff. I've always liked the found family type of anime, right? Like it's always been kind of my favorite overall. But like, I think that series really kind of made it where I was like, oh no, I really like this main character group. Yeah, that one doesn't, that one I'm not familiar with for sure, Enrico. I am familiar with the Monogatari series, though, but I haven't watched any of it, so I'm not sure if that's related or if that's like a separate part of a separate franchise. I hope to make a new Sekiro set in a different location. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say they wanted to go to Korea. I can see that causing a lot of controversy. But depending on how they do it, I mean, why not, right? There we go, finally. Oh my god, so close. I was in a very bad position there. Ah! That annoys me. That annoys me a bit. Come on. Oh, fuck. I saw that coming too. Oh, it happened with Solo Leveling? They changed the names to JP? That was in the original, JP dub, too? Really? Wow. There are a lot of really good Korean series, though. I'm sure they're gonna start with the action series, but some of the stuff I'm interested in is the fantasy romance. Like the Ultimate Isekais and stuff like that. Oh, it flopped in JP too? Yeah, I have not followed the Solo Leveling discourse at all. I didn't know anyone who watched it, so... I guess now I know why. It flopped in Japan. Alright, there we go. Oh my god, went after the wrong one. Whatever. Whatever. There we go. Ah, there's Mohawk Boy. Okay. Ah, no, that's not That's not my Mohawk, man. Alright, let's try to survive for a second. Come on, Mohawk. Ah, there you are. There you are, Mohawk Rat. Oh. Ah. Woo! I think we got it. I think that was the one. I think that was it. I just had to make sure I stepped back a bit so he would walk into it. Look at that. I got it. I got the rat right in my sights. That looks beautiful. Yeah, it's gonna just add more shots. This we don't need. But yeah, this is literally exactly what I wanted. Did I look, by the way, if you even care? You can't post links, Enrico, but if you want, you can join the Discord and, like, you know, post whatever you want about yourself there. At least I don't think you could do any leaks for yourself. I'm gonna head out. When's the next stream? Probably tomorrow, Tyrone. I want to do some HSR so we can continue with the event and do some more music madness, so we'll see how that goes. Why are we looking at rats? Because I like to have all the reference images I can for the sake of completionist. There really is no other reason. I could have just been like... I could have just kept it where we don't really have a reference image for that. Oh, Lamau! No, I was talking about our rat boss here. Oh, okay, sorry. I did not catch the joke. My apologies. Oh, they look... Yeah, unfortunately, I don't always catch, don't always catch the sarcasm, through text. That's unfortunate. Let's see. Do I have a homeward bone? I do, I have several, okay. So we can get the souls and get out. Ah, shit. Kill me here. That way I can pick it up, and then I'll add this. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, So let's think. What do I possibly want to do with this character specifically? Like, what is going to be my next goal for reference images on this game? Like, is there anything I want in terms of bosses? Next boss I can get are Pursuer. Lost Sinner. Don't really want Lost Sinner. Maybe there's some shots at Lost Bastille I want to get. Maybe something with gargoyles. Oh, I picked... Oh. Well... Okay, sure. I can't believe I picked it up before I even entered the fog. Let's see. Pursuer, Lost Sinner. I could maybe start moving toward... Do I want anything? Oh, Harvest Valley. Maybe some shots with the windmill not being burned. The two Mortal Blades in Sekiro have effects that are similar to Black Flame and Destined Death, which I think is fun. Yeah, you mentioned that before, Xavier. I recall. That's cool that Sekiro's also gained the references and callbacks in the FromSoft library. It's actually amazing to me how much From Software is such a, like, a meta company, right? Like, usually you'll see, like, one or two, like, you know, references or callbacks in, you know, a developer's later games. But, like, in From Software, they really know how to, like, lace that stuff into the DNA. Oh, you remember that? Yeah! Yeah, it's amazing what I remember versus what I don't, right? Let's see. Oh, Flexile Sentry. I want Flexile Sentry for sure. I think we should start working toward, yeah, him. Yeah, we have to think that one. Frickin' Majula jump scare from our wonderful maiden. This doesn't matter anymore. We have enough HP for what I want, so let's go back to giving us more damage. Oh wait, I can get another level up off of this. Right? Yeah, I can. Okay. I think it does help that From is a company where there has been a lot of intro work happening between multiple production lines, for better or worse, like DS3 being a production implosion. Yeah, I can see that, but even some of their, like, really old games, like, obviously they always have the Kingsfield references, and obviously that also now the Demon Souls references and stuff has become, like, you know, a mainstay now. But, like, yeah, just overall, it just amazes me just how much, like, you can see, like, the way they're able to recycle ideas in ways that doesn't feel forced. It feels kind of incidental, right? Like, in Dark Souls 3 with the Twin Princes, and then making the reference to the Northern Regalia. Like, it's such an obvious reference, and yet it so seamlessly works, right? Like, it doesn't feel like they really had to, like, you know, finagle anything to get it to do that. Sir? Sir? Sir, your cloth is glitching. Yeah, like the channelers with Moog and stuff like that. Like, for example, a lot of people don't even know the idea of the Amygdala splitting away her arms to use as a weapon actually came as an inspiration for the last giant boss fight. Yeah, I would not be surprised if that's so. Because it's definitely, like, you know, one for one with the whole, you know, just straight up ripping your arm off and things like that. Also, a lot of the... It's also obvious when you look in the cut content and stuff like Gundyr during Dark Souls 3's development. His boss fight seems like he ended up being, you know, inspiring at the same time the Bloodborne DLC with Lawrence and stuff, right? Like, they were gonna basically, either do that again, or they were working on the idea at the same time. And of course, in Bloodborne, like, the entire sequence with you going up to the bridge and fighting, the Cleric Beast and all that was obviously a sort of joking parody to the original, you know, starting areas with Dark Souls 1 through Undead Burg and stuff like that, and how they made that work out, which, again, I really appreciate. Anything from Things Betwixt we want to get? You know what, there's one thing I want, because there's this shot I have in my website, and I don't know how I've never noticed this before. I guess I thought it was a god ray, but there's this goddamn, like, little, like, you know, dust particle right in the middle of this otherwise beautiful shot. wonder if I have to go over here to get it. What would you guess would spread over to other games from Elden Ring? I think seeing flame lighting in another game would be funny. I think Malekith has potential to be referenced a lot. Probably, you know, fingers in general, you could probably find a few ways to work that in. Maybe someone like Gideon. I could see Gideon becoming a sort of mimetic character throughout From's franchises. Okay, yeah, there we go. Rats, I can fix that. Hey, Mercy. Oh, flame lightning is what you were trying to say. Yeah, I was like, flame lightning. I was like, yeah, I guess with the whole, you know, Melina going on fire, but no, you meant lightning. Yeah, flame lightning for sure. I could see definitely coming back. I want to say maybe they could bring back the what's it called? The whole idea of, like, Radagon and Marika, like, you know, splitting or having, like, you know, gold and red and, you know, that color. I could see someone making some sort of, like, reference there where you have, like, twin characters and one of them is, like, a male with red hair and the other is, like, a blonde female. I could totally see them doing something like that again and being like, haha, like, it'll literally just be their appearances, but it'll be a tongue-in-cheek reference to Marika and Radagon. Like, I could see something like that happening. Or maybe something with the, Miquella and Malenia, too. That could also be a possibility. Storm stuff? Maybe. Maybe. If they don't want to go, like, more of a Dark Souls 3 Storm stuff reference with it, maybe. I think it'll be something no one expects, kind of like when they do their teasing for the games they're working on. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're always going to have unexpected elements, right? But, like, would it be, like, something, like, crazy or off the wall? Like, I don't know, like a reference to Bach or something? I don't know. Like, the Dark Souls 3 DLCs have the warriors in the snow coming from another place and just falling on that place, and it's clearly referenced to Elden Ring with the 3 shields and similar. I could definitely see the influence with what we get in Elden Ring, maybe, yeah. The thing is like, those are like kind of like generic Viking guys or something. I could see that being like all its own thing too. They did that with R'hllana being Mesmer's blade, like Malenia being the blade of Miquella. Yeah, but you could argue that's more like for narrative purposes. Like, it's within the same game, right? So it's not really like kind of a ludo-narrative type of thing. Where did I get this shot? I don't remember the shine being this big. Wait a second, chat. I'm gonna look. Second beginning. Let's look at this. Let's have a look-see. No, that's old woman. We don't care for old woman. Old woman could go take a hike. Yeah, okay. This is what I'm talking about, Jet. So that with the little dust particle there. Right here. Where did I get that shot? This is the one I was thinking of. That one's separate, though. That one looks good. Like, there's a little particle here, but I don't care about it. This one annoys me now that I notice it. Anyway. And in your opinion, which Souls game has the best lore? If we're including, like, all the cumulative lore, then Dark Souls 3. But standing on its own, probably Dark Souls 1 or Bloodborne. Like, I want to lean on Dark Souls 1 because Dark Souls 1's a lot more expansive than Bloodborne in that regard. But Bloodborne does a really good job with what it has. The fugitive particle. Yeah, I must be a shot like this or something. No, because the tree's not in the background, in the foreground there. Maybe I did get it from all the way on the other side. I should have guessed LOL, yeah. In BPD Sale also did the same. There was the samurai guy going crazy inside the cells immediately after Ludwig boss fight. That seemed very much a reference to Sekiro. Yeah, it could be. I've seen people say the same thing about Chester, but again, I've looked in the fact that I've, like, you know, looked inside the content stuff with Chester and seen Chester be a thing, like, way before that. Like, could it be? Yeah, they could have repurposed him to be a reference as, like, a foreshadowing for Bloodborne stuff. But it's really hard to say, because it could also just be that the games, again, because they're so... Because there's so much overlap between them, like... It's not the first time From Software's had a samurai guy in their games, right? Like... But yeah, it's totally possible. Definitely not saying it isn't. No, because we didn't have that either. Yeah, I don't know where I got that shot. I may just delete it. Alright. Anyway. Let's... How am I gonna get to Lost Bastille? Or no, I want to go to No Man's Wharf, right? Yeah. Let's make our way to No Man's Wharf so we can get Flexile Sentry done at some point. Well, going to sleep now. Finish my work for the day. Good night, boys. Keep gaslighting our Loki into liking these. No! Anyway, great to have you here, Enrico. Wonderful having you in the chat. Have a good rest. Alright. How much till the next level up? 2100. Okay. It's in the pain in the ass dealing with all these guys, but... Oh. There we go. Alright, yeah, we're already at the level up stage, so... There we go. Oh. That could have easily killed me. But it didn't. Ayo, DS2 fan number 3! No, Nobre! Enrico left just so Nobre could come in and continue the gaslighting. He heard the call. How you doing, Nobre? You missed another beautiful DS2 moment at the beginning of the stream. Like, within the first 5 minutes, I saw it and I'm like, well, I'm never unseeing that. That's never gonna be leaving my brain. Make sure to save the clip I got, Nobre. Alright. Alright, let's go check on our good old friend Dragon Rider. Yeah, that's 19 defense. Yeah, okay. I just need to be good enough so I'll survive when I try to knock him into the sea eventually. But for now, we're gonna skip. We're gonna skip. Hey, buddy. And these guys are determined. And credit where credit's due. They want me dead. You know, in case I ever want a screenshot of something like that in the future. Oh. Ah. I don't know how I'm not dead to you, but I'll take it. Oh, wait. I accidentally hit the circle button! There we go. Nah, the light. The problem is the lighting is like right under there, so I gotta move the guy a bit back or turn him around or something. Oh, look, if I answer a question for the stream start, yeah, she does have black fog in her hands and will cause you to hollow if you aggro her and she hits you. Oh, cool. So she has the curse thing the same as the Seldoran people have, exactly. Oh. Is that what your basis was with the whole idea of Seldorans, like, you know, quote-unquote manifesting their curse or something? Yeah, okay, I see. I get your idea, Nobre. Maybe it might be you have something there. The problem is, I don't understand why it would happen. That's the big issue. Like, why? The only thing I can think of is that it was used on... The only thing I can think is that those hands, and by extension the Seldorans, those hands were normal, but because they've stained themselves in so much blood of hollows, they have some of the curse on them still, right? Does that make sense? Like, that's my best rationalization I can come up with. Yeah, damn. We had it, but then he did the additional attack. And why Vendrick can use a Dark Curse Ball. I mean, if Vendrick can, like, conjure up his own curse or something, like, yeah, that Dark Curse Ball would make sense in that context with the same idea, right? They got the Dark Hand. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, the problem would be purely, I don't see a random peasant lady or whatever, like a commoner lady, who's, you know, become a traveling merchant in the wake of all that death and destruction. When did these things pop up? I don't see someone like that, suddenly, what's the word? You know, suddenly, you know, knowing how to conjure up, like, the power of her undead, versus all the other undeads we see. Unfortunate. She's secretly a witch. The deepest lore. Could just be something they do unconsciously to try to fend off any threat on their way. Again, it could... Again, you could make that argument. The problem then is, why don't we see it elsewhere then? Like, it makes sense because we know Melentia or whatever has to be doing something similar to the undead merchants from Dark Souls 1, right? Where she has to be, like, looting bodies and picking and stuff. And then she's, like, going through, like, the corpses and flesh of undead and stuff and, like, clawing away into them and things. I could see her picking up some of that curse, then. Same thing with the guys with the weapons of the Seldorans and stuff, right? Like, we know they have to be killing some of their own who turn hollow, like the soldiers and stuff. Or, you know, dealing with the... like, maybe some of them getting puppeteered by the spiders or something, right? I think those are supposed to be corpses, right? I don't think they even count as, hollows, those Spider-Men people. Plus some of the gutters in the hollow have the thing. Well, again, that would go to my point of how, you know, the gutter, you know, everyone's fending for themselves in the gutter. They're trying to kill and stuff. Though I thought it was dark, but I guess not. I'll have to double check my gutter analysis to see if I had that corrected or not, if I'm just misremembering. Yeah, the added attack that the guy does there, that was dumb. Here I am, just trying to get a few more extra shots of our Dragon Rider friend before I try to have him knock himself over the edge. You know what? If that is all them just doing curse effect, and I'm right, I could include that in the hypothetical soul appease article I've been thinking of working on. Yeah, I can't do that with the background, with the fog wall. It's cause I think DS2 tried to add the enemies visually imbued weapons for us to see, like with the Finito and Earthen Peak having sorcery imbued seers as scenes do. Oh wait, do the Finito outside of Earthen Peak do that? Actually, no, Bray, I don't remember seeing any magical stuff on the ones in Undead Crypt. Do they do that? Not gonna lie, I think no. Ooh, that's interesting, because we know that Mytha does sorcery and stuff, so you could argue that it's her enhancing their weapons on their behalf. Which mean they learned sorcery there? Yeah, or that, you know, Mytha augmented their weapons with sorcery. Since they're working with her. Ooh, that's a good detail. I gotta include that. Yeah, I gotta verify that. I'm pretty sure it's no. Gun. Yeah, damn. Yeah, no. Ugh. What do you think is next for the Soul series? Will they be taking a long break before a new game? I'll be honest, I would prefer if the Soul series was, put to rest. Like, if they're gonna do something new, let it be a remake. A nice, beautiful remake, but with a better art style than what Bluepoint gave us. Like, seriously, I'm happy with everything Bluepoint did graphically, but art style wise, it needed soul. It needed some changes at the top. Oh, look, did you know that at Ordina, if you enter the Everjail and go to where the Black Knife corpse is, the corpse will be gone and there'll be an invisible assassin there? Oh, like just straight up a separate assassin who is invisible, separate from the one who, like, goes around hunting you? Is it actually an additional NPC? Still, that's pretty neat. Oh my god. Nice. Fine, I guess we got a shot of his shield. There are multiple invisible Black Knife assassins. Cool, good to know. Because I remember that being said before, but I couldn't remember if that was ever verified or not, if it was just someone guessing. But cool. Jello! Hey, hi, man. Good to see you. But yeah, in terms of, like, Soul series, Demon Souls 2 could be cool if we had to have a new Souls game. I would enjoy them to... Because Demon Souls 2 has tons of... like Bloodborne, has ton of sequel potential. All you have to do with Demon Souls 2 is, you know, put it far enough in the future so that way a bunch of things change. Or not. You could probably, like, move things around the continent if you want to keep it within roughly the same period. Though I think it'd only be fair to, like, make our first hero's journey meaningful. At least put some time between the next, you know, big demon outbreak, right? But you could totally mine that game for more content. Like, that series just has so much potential. You can expand on the countries and cultures from the old game while adding new ones, maybe just expanding on the world building as a whole. Alright. Oh, come on now. Good to see you too. Oh, it's always happy to have you in the chat, man. Oh, look, you could expand on the color choice of the Dragon Rider's armor. This one in Haida being red, while the arrow one in Drangleic Castle being black. I could give an offhand mention how they wear red or black armor, but that's all I'd really be able to add. I'll be honest, no, Brave, if you didn't mention to me, I would have thought it was just the lighting because of the sunset stuff, you know? Like, that was just making it appear more red than it was. I'm saying they went through the effort to directly show that the dead one we find and loot the armor from is in the Everjail and isn't dead there. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure would be the implication, right? But the fact that we have multiple would tell us that, yeah, like you said, either A, they wanted to make sure that one specifically and they didn't really care about having corpses of the others, or something else is going on there. I think the former is probably more likely, though. Damn, I had it so... The problem is always that follow-up attack. I think, you know what, I'm just gonna have to accept that the shots I already have of Dragon Rider are gonna be the shots for him. Like, I need to stop trying to get more. In that case, let's just kill him. Phew. Alright, finally, now that Great Shift is done, I'm finally able to start working on Oldia. Whoa. My one true love, Oldia. Get him. Get his content done. Oh. Oh. Yeah, no. I screwed that one up. There we go. I think it's over here. I gotta... If I remember right. I think I made a mistake. Instead, I think I have to put him, like, far off, like here. Yeah. Ah! No! He knocks me down! No, I gotta do the dodge roll first. I can't just rely on the shield. It's dodge roll through him, then turn around, and then shield him to get him, you know, poke the rest of the way down. Poor Dragon Rider, just faithfully protecting his now dead buddies. Yeah, I actually will say I do like the idea that Ventrix soldiers are so good that they haven't turned undead / hollow. They're just so dedicated to whatever cause they put their minds to that their souls make it so their bodies refuse to die. So like Velstad, Throne Watcher, and Defender, this Dragon Rider, etc. Right? Like they basically give themselves immortality by virtue of their single-minded focus on the task at hand. There's something nice about that, you know? Nah. I'm doing this wrong. I almost had it there. Maybe I'm just supposed to hit him. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to use the shield, though. Technically, the Watcher and Defender are cursed since their soul archives are being consumed by dark. Yeah, but that's just because they're in a dark area, right? They've been in darkness for so long, right? But yeah, technically they got some shadow eating away at them, that's for sure. So they are in a sense cursed. Technically. That's another thing I like. I like how they built on the Leroy thing. It's funny when it's like just ordinary darkness, right? Like you're just gonna like, it's like, wow, if I just sat in like a really dark cave for a long time, you'd have like that dark would eventually eat away at me. But it makes sense, right? So it's not just Dark Souls, but just, you know, it's the nature of, you know, the dark period. If you want to kill Dragon Rider, let him walk 6 steps and then dodge to the right his thrust attack without moving. Let him walk 6 and then dodge to the right of his thrust attack without moving. Oh, so as in, like, as soon as I enter the arena, I don't move, period? Okay. I thought you had to get in a specific location on the left of him, but okay. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps, and then he'll do the thrust attack, and then you dodge. Yeah, let him attack and then dodge. Gotcha. Okay, because I thought it was you had to get yourself a certain position. I'm trying to do this off memory. But no, if it's just like literally walk in, don't care. Alright, let's do that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nah. Come on. Ah! Come on. No! He's almost fallen off right there. But yeah, I tried not moving Nobre, and it didn't seem to work. He did an extra step, and then he didn't do it. Unless it's the angle with how I go through the fog wall that matters. Maybe I have to try moving to, like, the left side. There we go. Can't even do the easiest cheese. Guess you need Combat Azure to do everything. Yeah, where's my Combat Azure? That way I could just turn my brain off. make you do it. Come on. Yeah! There is a Commodore in DS2, right? Yeah, it's Aldia's. It's one of Aldia's things. We've inspired the Haida Knights, chat. They're now up and about. Alright, I didn't even need a shield. Shields in my Dark Soul, says who? No, Bray, you see what I see? You know, it makes sense, but, you know... Jeez, I wonder if they thought you would kill this one Haida Knight that's stuck here before you fight this boss, huh? And beat him. Oh, perfectly hidden. Oh my god. Like, that one at least can definitely hide in the geometry. Oh. Alright, that's enough, I think, in terms of just the general area. Loki killed me. I'm sorry, Nobre. Later. Now let's keep it off. I like how she's supposed to be praying to the sun, but I can't even tell where the sun is in the sky. It's not here. It ain't here. It's just a light. The sun is a lie. There is no first flame, chat. We've got the deepest lore. I should be able to do something about... I can't do anything about that one, though. It's like I could do something about that, but not that. Definitely not that. Sorry, Leash. Look, the position that lover is actually not a mistake. There's actually a case surrounding it. It's an invisible glass case. Genius, Nobre, genius. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it, Nobre. That's why I was laughing so hard, because I was like, this is a fix that even you can't do. It's so funny and silly, but it's also like this unfixable thing, because it's like, it's kind of already been designed. Oh well, I guess that's something for remake devs to keep in mind when they're, you know, retexturing the assets and all that. Make sure to come up with, I don't know, adding some metal or something bits underneath there to make you think there's a mechanism for how all this is supposed to work, right? Alright, let's check to see if I got any good ones here. There we go. Nah. Yeah, so this is all I got out of that fight. I'm surprised just how little of me I was able to get in this shot. Like, that's impressive. Not this. Not this. Not that. Oh, no. No. Yeah, I can make that work. I guess I can try to readjust that one. No, that one's ugly. With Ladelphi alongside Krypton almost being a thesis, it is definitely getting up there, but I don't think it's big enough. I don't think it's quite there. I do have a certain length I do for accepting them, and I have a little bit of wiggle room depending on some of them. Like Rosaria's, like, you know, like kind of just barely there. Though I think I have added more stuff, so I think she's more like within line. But wow, magical floating lights out of nowhere. Watch, there's actually some torches that are inside the model that they misplaced. Alright, let's go down. Let's go get our pet. Oh, wait. Before I do that, I should light the bonfire in case I die. I don't want to have to walk all the way through again. Also, I should kill Alicia while I'm here. Chat, does she disappear if I take this bonfire? Hi, hop on the first day I sees that scammer Alicia for sure. And no, she doesn't vanish. Okay, good. Let's go back to Majula then.
Bearer of the lest.
All right. Nah, nothing added in there. Yeah, okay. All right. All right, there we go. That should be enough. Ah, we're a little short there. One thing I like for DC is how they made the models for boss souls vary depending on the boss on like 1 and 3. Oh, really? Is that so? I have to watch a comparison video then to see something like that. Kind of curious how that turns out, because I don't pay attention. Which is why they don't do it for the other games. I guess it's fine. It's fine for the purposes of us killing Leisha. Alright, let's go get rid of our leash. If I'm lucky, I can knock her down.
I've no choice now.
Ow! Damn, almost got her to knock off. Unfortunately, I didn't switch over to my shield. Oh no, she didn't. My plan! My beautiful plan! There we go. Beautiful. What's the meaning / theme of Bloodborne as a whole, if there is one? Be aware the travails of childbirth, if I had to pick one. Alright, so here's the question, chat. Where am I gonna get the lock key thing to turn... Oh, there it is. There we go. Idols, Chime, and Rotunda, Lockstone. Perfect. I hope they don't, like, put her gravestone somewhere obnoxious. Cool, cool. I don't need her chime for anything, right? So we can just move on now. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's go back. Well, now we can go straight to Huntsman's Copse if we want. But who would want to do that? I hope they don't put her gravestone in somewhere really obnoxious for me in the future. Like inside the Loop Temple or something. Oh, hey, buddy. Actually, I'm okay with getting a shot of you in here. That could have worked, but I didn't have the angle in time. Yeah, but the more I think about it, like, Bloodborne is, Bloodborne explores a lot of ideas. Obviously, a lot of them have to do with maternity and things, right? You definitely tell it was Miyazaki was having a kid at the time and was definitely thinking on that sort of stuff a lot. But, I mean, it explores a lot of different ideas, which is what makes me, like... Which what makes me hesitate from just wanting to, you know, assign it one... That's blurry. Why is that blurry? Is it because I'm against... I think it's because I'm against a wall. Damn. Damn. That would have been a nice shot, too. But yeah, like, you explore, like, you know, the beasts and man. You know, goes along to, you know, quote-unquote scientism and stuff like that. Trust the experts and all that jazz. deals with obviously a little bit of that good old Lovecraft the other. Oh. Well, that's not what I wanted. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Come on, I want to go back to my Black Friday sale. I got so much manga and anime to catch up on buying. So come on, buddy. Loki, writing-wise, what you think of Dragon Ball? If you just kind of think of it as a nonsensical comedy, it's good enough. If you try to take it as a serious narrative, it's garbage. Right. Like Toriyama's always more on point when he's like, leaning into, kind of like, silliness than when it comes to, narrative depth. He had a bit of it when you had the Frieza arc and stuff, and like the Cell Saga and stuff like that. But especially nowadays, his work sort of, you can definitely tell it's more of a cash grab for him nowadays, right? I always thought it was about what it means to be human, how far people are willing to go to get power, something like that. Yeah, there's certainly that. The thing is like, you're talking about like something like, if I had to find a central theme to it, and I would probably say it's probably about, being aware of the, like I said, the travails of childbirth and stuff like that, Because there's very much that sort of metaphor of you have a bunch of men who are trying to investigate, womanly things that they don't understand, and they try to understand through logic when it's something that is purely, it's something that's purely intuitive, right? There's certainly that. But there's a lot about the philosophy and all that jazz. Human effigy and dark trotches. Soul of a proud knight. Old knight Alfred. Oh. I think you have more narrative depth in classic, like Tien had actual character in there. Yeah, I think the problem with Dragon Ball is Dragon Ball was a game that, is a series that just kept escalating and escalating in terms of its stakes, and now it's just so high into the stratosphere that it can no longer have narrative cohesion. Like it's impossible. Like the game is just too. I'm sorry, the series is just too. I should just say the manga. The manga got so big in terms of its narrative scope that it can no longer keep up with, like, its old characters and the power scaling and everything, right? And obviously a lot of franchises have the benefit of, like, Dragon Ball inspiring them and, laying the groundwork and stuff, but there's definitely a lot of franchises that handled power scaling better since, because that is 100% one of the downsides of Dragon Ball. I'm gonna see if I can get a shot without the guy putting his shield up. Like, can I get far enough away that he's not gonna automatically see me while I take a shot of him? He should Totoho would sell that one time, he ain't wrong. Yeah, it's one of those things too, cause like, when you rewatch like OG Dragon Ball and even a bit of Z, you can kind of just see where the decline happens, right? I think Naruto suffers from the same issues. Oh, right. For a second I was like, how the fuck did I end up here? Wrong character, that's why. My brain for a second was like trying to rationalize how the fuck the game, like, got this, like, threw me that off course. The problem with continue is it's not actually continue, it's load one of your existing characters. Y'all remember that one time Mr. Satan saved the world? Yeah. Now he already has the shield up. Alright, give it an opportunity, I can crop something. Let's see, maybe I can. Let's see. Like this, it's totally possible to crop stuff like this, right? So I don't have to deal with the bonfire. I get Leisha here, right? Something like this still, same thing. We also get a very good look at her face. It definitely feels like it's now more leaning towards quantity than quality, yeah, for sure. And that's always been the problem, right? And even some of the plot ideas, like them bringing back Frieza and stuff, right? Again, from a comedy perspective, it's really funny that the idea that Frieza for the first time does an actual, like, you know, proper quote-unquote training and ends up becoming, like, this super powerful, right? Like, there's something funny in the concept, right? I think Toriyama's humor has always been on point, but the problem is that when it comes to, like, merging that humor into a strong, emotional narrative, that's always been the problem. Because then the stakes are so absurd, but they're not absurd in, like, a JoJo sense, where JoJo, again, I haven't seen JoJo myself, but from what I understand, is able to wrap it around and makes it, actually, you know, all kind of work. I don't think Toriyama's been able to do that, and I think he's gotten worse as he's gotten older, and obviously he's not, you know, he's not in practice, quote-unquote, the same way. Yeah, you can do something like this. Something like this. Okay, yeah, we got that to work with. Yeah. Yeah. Again, I don't like them having the shield up, but without, like, a free cam, turn off their AI, not, you know, all that jazz, I don't think we're gonna get anything better, so. Yeah, it definitely feels like Dragon Ball is surviving off nostalgia. Like, it's in that, you know, it's in, like, you know, that late, you know, it's like the late stage cancer for any franchise, where it just kind of burns off its own fumes. It's not really trailblazing anything new and interesting in terms of its narrative potential or its world building. It's just trying to get as many sequels out there so it can, you know, still make some money off of people who want to just see more of the characters, whether they're in good stories or not. Which I don't know what that says about fans, but hey, if that's what they want, right? I think I got him just before he moved. Oh. Wow, I can't believe it took me that long to... Yeah, no, I don't like any of that. The problem with dying here, though, is that I have to go and pick up my souls before I can get another shot. So let's hope I got the one shot I really wanted there. Now it's still... he moved. It's blurry. Fuck. I think also for that specific angle, we want to turn up the brightness. You ain't wrong there. I could care less about the new series, but hearing that OGOP makes me a kid again. Yeah, that's exactly it. And again, that's always the shame with some of the big franchises that sometimes they're just exhausted, even though they have a lot going for them, or they should at least. It's kind of sad. I think I'm gonna kill the guy here. I think I'm gonna kill the guy in the hallway because I don't think... The hope was that I could have him kill me when I was looking at the guy in order to do that, but I don't think he was gonna do enough damage. I think that's the problem. I'm not gonna be able to die fast enough. While I like Super for at least expanding the overall cosmology of Dragon Ball, I personally would prefer a GT remake that includes idea. The problem I think I have with, you know, the Super and Beyond stuff is when you start getting into the, like, multiverse, and this is my general opinion, multiverse I think just suck. I'm sorry to say, like, multiverses exist as just an excuse for you to try to have it all be within one canon when you put your stakes too high for a franchise or whatever. Like, that's your nuke button, right? Like, I've talked about how Dark Souls 2 does the soft reset, right? Because they don't go into, like, oh, we're going to, like, you know, throw this in a different universe. But we're effectively kind of doing that, right? Because it's basically, you know, a new beginning. It's a new part of the world, new setting or whatever, right? So it's in continuity, but it's effectively doing the same thing that what a multiverse does. But I would prefer, again, that Dark Souls 2 method than what we got going for us right now. No, yeah, I don't like this. Yeah, I don't like this. Having those guys stand up, I think that gets in the way, too. So, Bloodborne is about having children. Is the main idea about Elden Ring about growing up or something like that? That one's harder to pin down for me. Because I'm such a neophyte when it comes to Elden Ring lore that I don't have that comprehensive knowledge to really kind of, like, you know, find its thematic core. There's definitely a sense of maturity, right? Because you have the idea of, like, you know, the demigods, right? The quote-unquote, you know, Marika's children. Exploring their own ideals for the world and morality while having this childish fight over quote-unquote the throne. But the problem is a lot of it's kind of like the problem with that is that, like, that makes sense when you look at the premise, but when you get deeper into the shattering, that doesn't really pan out, right? It's like there's actually like two people who are legitimately like trying to become Elden Lord in the shattering. Yeah, Elden Ring story is so big, yeah. I'm trying to think, where would I place, like, the thematic core of Elden Ring? And the problem is that it's so high concept in terms of what it's going for. Like, we're getting to really heady space with a lot of its narrative and things. I don't know. Alright, we got some shots there. I can maybe play with the brightness for some of these. Let's look. I think ER took what DS2 did with passivization and incorporated it better into the setting. Yeah, I can see that to some extent. I think that's true. Probably those little particles, but I can work with that. I can do some. I have to do some editing, but I think I can make this guy with his normal looking sword and stuff fit in, right? Yeah, I think I can edit this to make it work. We'd have to see. We'd have to see. Like I said, though, the big focus is just getting Flexile Sentry. Alright, I think we're going to go for one more attempt, and then we're going to be done for the night. I'm getting tired. Oh. Ah! Somehow I'm not dead. And that actually might work to my advantage, because it means I might get killed by that Basilisk or whoever. Yeah, I think one of the things that ER does better than DS2 when it comes to the civilizations thing is that DS2 leans too heavily into the idea of, oh, it's so long ago, it doesn't matter anymore, right? And I get what they were trying to go for. They were trying to go for this idea of, like, you know, in the face of all that pessimism, you will still rise to the challenge to, try to understand it or try to learn about the past in the same way that they want you to, like, you know, they mock you, they have, you know, they're very blatant, like, mocking you to the face. Oh, you're gonna die again and again, haha, you're gonna die, right? And they're trying to make it be like, hey, you prove the naysayers wrong or whatever, right? And you're gonna, you know, you're gonna win this or whatever, right? The problem is that it's too ham-fisted, and it just comes off as obnoxious, and kind of, you know, I guess to an extent, you know, ironically, it is in fact demoralizing, because it's like, okay, well, if you're saying I don't care, then why should I care, right? Again, I think it was definitely more deftly handled in Dark Souls 1 and 3, and when it comes to ER, yeah, they just didn't try to go with that angle. The point was to highlight, it was to kind of celebrate the history of Elden Ring as, like, this glorious past, right? Nah, it ain't working. Alright. I gave it a good college try. I think that's just like a general shot. Yeah. We'll just work with these three. Oh, you stuck a sword in my eye. Oh. Alright. Alright, let's get to No Man's Wharf so we can do Flexile Sentry next time. Rushing to Flexile is going to be fun. Oh. All right. Yeah, just looking at the OST we got, see if we got anything. Nope, nothing. All right. All right. I guess we'll bring this back then. We're no longer going down ladders and stuff that make my ears bleed, so. No more calming, relaxing music. Time for the last few minutes to have the work face on. Alrighty. Hello? I'd like to pick up my soul. Ow! Hello and goodbye. Well, this one feels weird. This feels weird to see this place without the bonfire. Don't even mind keeping. Ba-da. Yeah, I don't like it that much, but it's not a crazy shot either way. Yeah, no, I'm never gonna get what I want here because there's this stupid curve. I could get what I want here though, because I'm that close here. The irony. Can I get it from this angle? I can. That was a bit tougher to get a shot of, huh? In your opinion, who's the best written character in the Souls series? I'm going to exclude Elden Ring from that because I don't feel in a position I can say that. But for the games that I am intimately familiar with, the best written character... A lot of these characters are very simple, so it's hard to kind of... Because it's either thinking about, like, you know, they're simple, but they're executed, like, you know, masterfully. Or do they have, like, a lot of depth and it's done, you know, adequately, right? Those are, like, my two options when I'm thinking about these games. I want to say Prince Lothric has done very well. Oseros has done very well as, like, characters and overall and stuff. Like, the amount of lore and stuff you kind of get. Like, you really get a sense of their characters and things overall. Andre goes through a good arc across the two games that he's in, right? I think there's something there with Ilium Lois and the dynamic between the Ivory King and Alsana, but it's, like, extremely simple. That's the problem. Like, it's very, very cut and dry. I think if I had to pick a character overall, it'd probably be Velka. Yeah. I don't just mean that as a Velka simp. I just think overall the way they handle her character and, like, thinking about it, like, she's one of the character who, like, her role in all three of the games, her presence, the overall lore and backstory, like, the narrative, the little narrative details they have throw in for her. I think she's just probably one of the most fleshed out of the characters that you never even see. Dark Souls really into the idea of simple dynamics, extremely fleshed out. Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't say like extremely fleshed out per se, Nobre, but yeah, they definitely leaned into having something like very basic, cut and dry, like you've seen this a million times before. But it fits within the world, right? Like we've all seen like the stories of like a Mytha or an Old Iron King, or even to a lesser extent the Lost Sinner, right? Like we've seen those kinds of stories a million times before, but they're done very well the way they do it, and they make it all fit in a well-oiled machine for the story. The problem is, it's like this is all irrelevant to, you know, a Dark Souls story, which is the sad reality of Dark Souls, is that all its plot has to go back to the goddamn first flame. I didn't realize how simple the characters were until now. Well, yeah, when you really think about it, they're really, like, the characters really are very, very simple. They have very short narrative arcs. Even the NPCs, they tend to be very simple stories that are, like, stretched out, right? The depth. It's really weird seeing this. Yeah, it's really weird seeing this area. Like this. There we go. Yeah, it's so weird seeing this ship not at dock, you know? Got all those items and things. I'm not going to be lighting this area with any torches or anything this time either. So they want you to go all the way over there so you can ring the bell. That's why they light that up for you, chat, there. From Software 101. Whenever you're in an area, look for an area where they have the most obvious, you know, setup. Where it's like, you know, all the stuff is moved out of the way so you can clearly see that one area in the distance. Or they got like that especially bright light or whatever. That's how you know what your objective is in any different From Software area. Yeah, that's the entire point of you know, playing with the device, and it automatically sails you to the ship, right? Nobody, like, you literally kill all the crew, and they may as well have not ever been there. That's certainly the point. Maybe I can crop something out of that. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I think I got all the shots I would want. Alright. We'll come back here and try to do our run through here another time. We'll go do our Flexile Sentry run, because I do want some good shots of good old Flexile. Alright, that's gonna be all for today, chaps. Wonderful hanging out with y'all while I try to suffer through this. Thanks so much. Gotta stretch. Alright, later.